welcome to where the furniture isn't always the best, but the views, they are amazing.
It's a 13 for y'all. 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 It's a 13 for y'all.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 13th floor where the furniture isn't always the best, but the views are amazing. Art's excited to be here, man. I am loving the Looney Tunes shirt, man. I actually got Boomerang now for my son so he can watch some real cartoons and not this craziness that they have going on these days. What's happening, Faison?
Uh, today's been good. I've been doing my little gym working out in the morning, trying to get that K activation time, that pre 6 a.m. I'm good. Somehow I'm making it. I don't know. I'm a happy waker upper. That's even a word, or how you say that. I wake up.
You're a morning
I'm
person.
No, I'm not. But I wake up no matter what time happily. Like, I'm never upset being woken up. So
Okay.
my wife EJ would tell me, "Hey, babe, time to get up." I'm like, "All right." I get up and just go out to the gym. Brush my teeth first, go to the gym, come back. But like, yeah, doesn't matter what time she's telling me to get up. And of course, I want to go back to sleep, but I've committed to myself. I gotta get up and go. And
What time are you getting up?
5:30. I
Okay.
get to the gym by like 5:45. It's right around court for me. But
Damn.
it's good because it works out well because the boys get up at 6:30, so I'm back by the gym. I have time with them. There's not a rush to get them out of the house to like get to the gym at like 7 o'clock. And it's so nice in the gym in the morning. Like, you get your bench. There's people there, but it's not crowded. And I could like do these. I'm doing drop weights. I'm picking up like 4 or 5 different weights.
Drop
It's really
sets.
exciting. Thank you, drop sets. But it's pretty awesome, and it's just nice to have that ability to not have all the meatheads there at 8 o'clock that come in before they go to work. So pretty cool.
I'm with you,
Well,
man. Go ahead, Kay.
actually, it's funny because a lot of the bodybuilders, like, that's their time. They're usually in there is like 6 o'clock. That's when they're in there.
I'm
But
in
I
there.
guess not over here where I am. I see ladies, and I see
well,
one old
the
guy always
bodybuilders
there.
don't go to Planet Fitness.
This is
I about to
very
say you got to
true.
go to like a real gym. I'm
LA
sorry.
Fitness.
Like
No, you
a
understand. Yeah, you're right. LA Fitness or one of those like
No,
single.
you got to go to one where they actually have like real bench press
Yeah. Row,
stations and
row, or
and
squat
squat
machines or
racks.
racks. Yeah.
Yeah. The real bodybuilders, they're not doing anything on the Smith machine
Oh, sure. Yeah.
other
That's
than
okay.
maintenance work.
I
Maintenance
don't
work is what they do on the
exactly. I'm
Smith
not. I'm
machine.
not trying to get big. The spin machine will save my knees. I'm okay with that. I'm all right. I'm past
Yeah,
that
man.
need to be
But
big stage. I'm not
but
trying
here's
to
the
be
thing
big.
though. But here's what you got to think about though. If you really need to put your body under a load, you're not going to have something stabilizing the weight,
Mm-mm.
right? So anytime you pick up your boys, you don't have anything stabilizing the weight. If you go to pick something up, there's nothing there stabilizing it. So that's the downfall of the Smith machine,
True.
is that all those little support muscles around the big muscles, they're not getting touched because those stabilizing muscles, because the Smith machine is doing the stabilizing for you.
That is very true, and I never thought about it that way. But I will also challenge you. If my sons come at me at 195, I'm moving. I'm not going to pick up these big boys at that point in time. And I can say by the time he turns 12, he'll be 195. One of them will be. So yes, but yeah, you make complete sense. And the stabilizers are great, which is why I use dumbbells too, to do so many things, the squats, so forth. I mean, I'm not trying to mass up and bulk up. I think at this point, I'm 40 now, bulking up can happen. But by 47, 48, 49, that bulk's going to turn Hulk Hogan's sag. So I don't want that.
Well,
I
okay.
take
I mean,
time
that's a
out.
whole that's a whole conversation, but
Hmm.
what happens is that you naturally lose muscle mass
Hmm.
as you get older.
Right.
So you gotta lift somewhat heavy in order to even maintain the muscle mass, because as your growth hormone declines,
Hmm.
which it starts to decline in your 30s, once you hit 40, that's why you see all these ads now for growth hormone replacement, testosterone replacement. all that starts to decline a little bit naturally. Now, of course, some of it has to do with food,
Yeah.
which is a big proponent of it. So it's a combination of nutrition and actually being in the gym.
It's awesome. And yeah, I've always told myself I want to be my grandpa and that kind of size where I just don't want to have a bunch of stuff
Bulk.
jangling later on. I want to just have enough where I'm toned up. I mean, I'm good to go, but I'm not like I'm okay being an extra large and going down to a large if need be. I never will if my arm is too long, but I don't need to be a 2XL going down to extra large. I just don't need that. I'm okay. The Rock is awesome, but I'm okay being Shawn Michaels.
My man,
Um,
Shawn Michaels, baby, HBK.
No, man, The Rock is awesome. I kind of like that Idris Elba.
Yeah, that's a Shawn Michaels. This is Shawn Michaels shape. Yeah. Wait,
No, it's not.
Nah, Idris Elba probably a little bit bigger
well,
than Shawn.
he's like 6'2". Shawn Michaels is like probably 5'11". But as far as shape, when Michaels was in shape, he was that's the style. He was he wasn't cut up. He
Mm.
wasn't there. Is this
Dude, you're 6'4",
I
talking about
understand
Shawn
that.
Michaels. Like,
Right.
stop.
I don't need to have I don't need to have this the large shoulders and the big arms. I'm okay.
No. That's I was thinking about like maybe Jason Statham. You know,
Yeah, that's doable because that is pure toneness. So if you get older, you can just keep working on your tone and
right?
reps. That's definitely something that's doable. Yeah, that's a lot of work though after 45, I'm sure. But if you're
Nah, I
there,
think it's
if you're already there, if you're not
Well,
there,
well, I mean, he's pretty. He's got to be, 11-12% body fat,
right.
maybe 10.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That is tough to maintain, but you can get there. And if
Yeah.
you
Oh yeah.
the key is to get there and then just maintain, like keep
That
going.
exactly. That's the hard part is getting there. Yep. It's so much easier before.
so you heard him, ladies and gentlemen. Coach K, our hero for hire on the podcast. He wears so many hats, man. I love him because he's my doula, he's my dietitian, he's my nutritionist, he's my personal training coach and everything. So, he keeps us in line. He can do it all, ladies and gentlemen. He can do it all. Coach K, what's up, man? I got a question for you, but what's happening first?
Man, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Art's got me on the same thing. I'm waking up early in the morning as well and going and
All
hitting the
right.
gym. And
All
I
right.
got to do more work because I got to try to lose this gut. Um, you know, that it's just here. So I got to do a little bit more work than him. So sometimes I go gym in the morning and then Peloton in the evening.
Yeah, 2 a day. Yeah,
Yeah, man, got to do it. Got to do it.
that's good. So you up early? I'm up at like 4 o'clock, 4:30. So I'm in there with the buff heads and
I'm
everything.
getting up at 4:45 to try to go in there.
Okay,
God
yeah,
bless you.
we typically through round one by that time, but
But
that's
but I'm also man, I'm why are you laughing, man?
Art's face. He's just like, whoa. But I got to do it, man. That's the only way I can get the workout in because I've tried like going around 6 or 7 or even, kind of midday, in between 8 and 10. Like you said, one, it's too many people in there. So, and this was before I got the vaccine.
Yeah.
And even now, I really don't want to be in there with a whole bunch of people, even though this is like one of those smaller, like fitness gyms or what have you. But it's just easier at 4 o'clock in the morning. I can get it in. I can get back here by 6. If I want to take a quick 30-minute nap, I can. But most of the time, like even now, I'm still in my gym clothes from 4 o'clock this morning because after that, the day just runs. Like the baby,
Yeah.
and then I gotta get Kellen and Nia and them up, and then you just got stuff to do. So
You know,
it just works.
you know what I miss when I used to work in the city, in New York City? I used to be able to take a gym break in the middle of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So at 10:30, I would hit the gym. The perfect time to go in the middle of an actual, this is pre-COVID, obviously it's years ago, but to go to the gym at 10:30 in the middle of an actual city, oh, the best. Only thing you saw there was housewives, and then you saw us. So that was pretty much the gist of it. But it was pretty awesome to have that ability and see that.
So, Kay, you mentioned the foods for this growth hormone, testosterone. So I'm 34 and I'm trying to, fight back Father Time as best I can. I take the real age test that they give you with your health benefits and everything, and they still telling me I'm 26. So I'm feeling good about that.
Oh, you doing
But
good?
Twice. Wow. That's awesome. I'm like,
But I
five.
want to keep doing good, and I want to keep producing my own natural testosterone because I'm not.
I mean,
trying
but you're a little bit different though. I mean, you know, yeah, sometimes your eating might go off track, but you still out there trying to run and everything.
Yeah.
So you're doing things to keep that age at bay,
Mm-hmm.
That's good
right?
stuff.
I go long periods of time where, you know, all I'm doing is thinking about doing it. That's it.
Right? Truth.
But you're doing good now, man. I mean, consistency is really what it is, man.
Oh, well, I'm trying to get the consistency. It's tough, man.
It is.
It's hard. Like, and it's not so much being physically tired. It's being mentally tired and just like, no, I just want my brain to be off for another 60 minutes. I don't want to start.
Mhm. But
But,
that's where
you
that
know,
accountability partner come in. Ain't that right? All right.
yeah, and this is one of the parts where I wish we lived a little bit closer together,
Mhm.
so that we could go and meet up. But no, that's tough right now. We mess around and catch traffic, it's a wrap.
Oh, for sure. That was
I thought y'all didn't live far from each other.
about 30 minutes, right? Or
30 minutes.
25 minutes, but it depends on what time of day it is, because there are days when I can drive to his house and be there 25 minutes. He can come to my house and be an hour. The same time of day, depending on traffic, on how
Yeah.
this is crazy.
And like we're not just talking about weekdays, even on the
Right.
weekend, like all of a sudden just there's traffic.
That
Yep.
just sounds like Northern Virginia, man. I hate going down there. Weekday, weekend, like it just never works.
Listen, 595, 495.
Yeah.
I've been so many places, man. I don't know. They all end in
They're
five.
all in some five.
95 is everywhere.
Some five,
Right.
75, 95, 75.
495 is ridiculous. Like it could be 3:00 in the morning, and all of a sudden there's traffic for no reason.
And it literally be for no reason. Like
Like
no
you never see anything. All of a sudden the cars just start moving. You look like what was going on? What happened?
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
man.
Yeah, man. But give me till next week. I'll get you some foods.
Okay.
For that.
I got my sea moss gel. I've been doing that consistently with the either the protein shakes or the smoothie. Shout out to Wendy. I appreciate her putting me on that. I'm not making it. I got a nice little black-owned health food store right down the street, and they sell a jar.
You know what's crazy though, man? It is not tough to make it at all.
I ain't even.
She actually makes it for EJ now.
Oh, really?
Sends it up.
I've
Yep.
been on that for a minute. Yeah, every morning I put it in my coffee. Every
Yeah.
morning. Well, I gotta talk slower. Every morning I put it in my coffee.
I've never tried to put it in my coffee. I
no
don't put it in anything. I just
There's
take a spoon, dip, and just that's it.
You know what? Maybe I gotta try that because I have no taste. The coffee, there's no taste at all to it. To me, so I just mix it in and just enjoy it.
It just
But
looks weird when you put it in a liquid in a beverage.
I put it in my coffee thing, so I don't see it. So I just
Oh,
mix it
okay.
in the beginning and then just drink with the straw over time.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe I'll try it tomorrow. Watch me try it tomorrow and have the worst experience ever eating it straight from the spoon.
And what's crazy is that
Does it taste
she
like
finds
anything?
it. She found some place to order it from now, but the place to get it from is right down the street from your house.
I believe that. There's so much stuff over here, it's insane. I'm finding more and more every day.
Yeah.
And the schools are good. Really good. Like really good. It's crazy.
Okay.
No. Like I understand what when you look at the grade school where it may be, they're not up to date with all the new people coming in there and with COVID, everything that's happening. Like the rate of people moving in here is crazy. And like this council were like, it's good. Like it's crazy. Remember, we're still in Cobb County, so it's obviously Cobb.
Well, it's too late now.
You're like,
I mean, don't get me wrong.
yeah. You're in a great district though.
We could sell our house right now
Hey, come on.
and make money.
Yeah.
But the problem would be getting into another house. We wouldn't be able to find one to get into.
You're going to lose all that money moving and get to a new house. Yep.
Yeah, because there's very little inventory out there right now, and the prices are even worse than when we were looking for houses.
And the rates are going up.
And the rates going up.
Mhm.
We're setting up for 2008 all over again. How many ever years from now?
I can't wait to buy more houses when I haven't. This time I will not let it pass. This time I'm going to pick up some houses. we're going to start later on, but yeah, I refuse to let this time to let Miami happen again. I should have had at least 4 or 5 houses in Miami right now, but I was too young and dumb. But I've learned, I've aged, and I've matured, and that
Hey,
will
I hear
not
that.
happen again.
Sorry about that. Had a couple of interruptions, but I'm back. Hey guys.
It's part of life.
No, that's fine. We were just talking. You know, it's all good.
I heard. I know Art gonna give us some tips on how we can get into the real estate thing. You know, once the crash happens again, whenever it happens again, can't miss
Listen,
out.
and that's the key. We got to plan for it. We got to be able to
Yeah.
predict it and just start putting money aside from now. So when the time comes, it's like go, and we don't have to scramble to go find money.
Exactly, because that is
exactly where
exactly
it is.
what our counterparts do all the time. And
Mhm.
now you can see it coming. You can prepare for it.
Yep.
Yep, get it right. It's very tempting to have money aside and want to do something with it. Want to put in the stock market. Want to put it here. Sometimes it's just safe. Just hold on to it and make that money flip a different way. Um, you have some to put in the stock market, but yeah, you got to be ready for it. Be ready and be ready at all times. If you
And-
don't have it in liquid funds, have the availability to get some through some other options, but just be ready.
But you know what I realized though? Everybody and their mom is trying to do stock options and trading now. Everybody and their mom. Like I walk
Oh,
around, there's people that are like,
Come up.
and I'm just like, okay, you know what? I know for sure now it's too late to try to get into that.
Every this last 2 weeks, people are crying and hurting. All those options are being called, and they are not happy because the market was going so great, and you can never lose anything. And the crazy part is that the people who actually make money off it were selling when it was green, and
right.
everyone's still buying it now, and they're kind of holding on. Oh, it's gonna get better, and they're buying more now while it's red. Like you got to buy it now, and you can't. It's nothing to trade. There's no green, so you're trading for 1%. That's taxes. You're paying
Well,
tax for that.
and they're sitting there still doing calls. It's like, no, you need to go to options 105 and
Right.
start calling some puts.
Right.
That's
Exactly.
that's where the money is now. But
Exactly. Listen, people who made their money made it good and made it right. But yeah, everything's on a crazy red, and this week's there's some turnaround, but it's going to be crazy. And I can tell you now that the Bitcoin phase is not over yet. The Dogecoin phase is just steady, but there could be some other options that probably pop up this week before this thing airs. Um, that will come up. The NFTs, not NFTs. What are they called? The new digital buy.
I thought it was
Is it
NFTs.
NFT? Yeah, those things are going to get insane, and it's for dumb reasons.
Oh, they already started.
Yeah,
They
I
already
don't get
started.
it. I don't get the purpose behind that of owning a digital image that I can have. But at the same time, this is the guy who had Pokemon cards and who loves collecting things. But I like to have things that's tangible. I enjoy playing with Pokemon cards. I enjoyed the hunt for that. That was my card to have. I can't see the hunt of the digital aspect
The
going
digital
forward.
image.
But listen, people want to do it.
I mean, that's what we're saying right now.
Yeah.
Come next year, people will be talking about what their digital art is worth.
Right, but I'd rather buy royalties and music than buy that. I can get paid off royalties and music, and they're up and out. You can buy royalties now for people's songs. That's easy money to do versus digital.
Bring up buying royalties and music. What are you and either one of y'all familiar with buying it's tax, I want to say tax liens?
Oh, for homes?
I think so, yes.
Yeah. You gotta pay the tax of the property, but I mean it's just not that simple. There still could be some liens on the property and so forth that they have, but you can get a property for cheap, and you gotta have the rest of the information done depending on what it was. If you're buying it from the county, like if your county owns it, then you're just paying the tax on it. That's pretty much it. If it's going through the federal, then you're paying a lot more plus the taxes.
hmm Somebody brought that up as a, I guess, investment type strategy. I haven't looked deep into it yet, but they claim that it's like the best way to make some money if you have the capital to put into it. And it's a easy, they made it seem like it was pretty easy, quick flip type situation.
Oh yeah, it's definitely easy, but you gotta also remember those some of those tax places people are living there, and you gotta go in there and be the bad guy and say I own this house now. So it's not lot of them not vacant. They're
So it's almost like a foreclosure situation if you got a squatter. Or
With
something.
foreclosure, they're gone. They're out of property. These tax things,
Mm.
people can still be living there. You never know what's happening inside of it. So, and you can't go preview it. You can drive by the house. You can't go inside because it's still going through a tax auction and lien process.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha. All right.
it
Cool,
definitely is. I mean, same for that. Courthouse auctions, going to courthouse. I mean, all those things are definitely viable options to try and see and go with. But you gotta be able to weather that storm or whatever comes for that to make sure it works and works for you.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Listen, we need to make a commitment to go study 2008 and look to see, okay, when did everything start as far as these overpriced homes that are getting financed, the stock market, and then we need to look to see what was the period of time. And I just put that out there for all our listeners. So hey, we want y'all to come up too. But if we can figure out that, because it always goes in a cycle,
Mm-hmm.
and we just need to follow the blueprint and be ready to go.
Yeah, that's true.
Absolutely. So guys, we dropping this podcast and it's crazy. Carol, you brought it up, but didn't even realize it, man. We probably about we almost a quarter of the way through the year.
Yeah.
Right?
And
Wow.
you know, just sitting back to reflect on that, you know, how do we feel about this time? You know, are we past COVID? I mean, things are normal, very, very normal, quickly normalizing themselves here in Maryland. But you know, not just on that front, but personally, you know, the goals and things that we set out to accomplish this year. How we look on those things?
Man, I look at it like, man, you're a former track guy, man. I look at it like it was a false start, in the race for the year, because everybody was super excited. All right, we back, we're behind, we're out of 2020. That was a crazy year. It's 2021. And, it just seemed like there was some carryover into 2020. And, if you had fitness goals, you still couldn't go to the gym. If if you have financial goals, things were still kind of crazy. And yeah, some people made money, but you were still kind of skeptical. And now that, I think we finally see the light at the end of the tunnel, or whether it's real light or artificial light, we don't know, but there's an opening there now. And I think for me, I don't have the momentum that I was hoping to have at this point. I was hoping to build momentum January, February, come into March and go strong. You guys know, many people don't know, many people don't even realize how old I am, but, I turned 45 this year, and I'm just like, okay, by the time I get to 45, I'll be back to somewhat the best shape that I've been in, and trying to just claim that for me personally, I'm going to rewrite 45 and make it something good again for me, right? Based on, what was associated with the number before. So
Mm-hmm.
it's interesting. And I think the biggest thing is that you just got to reevaluate the plan and figure out, okay, what's still salvageable? What do I need to scrap and start over with? And just know that there's still a whole lot of time. You know what I mean? I mean, if you look at it like basketball has 4 quarters too. You can be getting spanked in the first and end up winning in the fourth.
Yep. Put them runs together. And get to that level of consistency. It's funny that you mentioned it and come at it from that angle, because I feel like 2020 it set up a lot of things for me personally going into 2021. I feel like we brought a lot of momentum into 2021, especially financially, having the baby, and then this first part of the year with having all my kids here, and it's really been more about family than anything. And some personal goals, being consistent, with my health and fitness, and really honing in on that. All of that, I feel like, is a culmination of the little things that happened in 2020. So when you talk about health and fitness, like, I was semi-consistent, like probably 3 months at a time. Like, I would go hard for 3 months, get injured or something crazy happen, and I take a break for a month or two and then go back at it, 3 months again when it comes to working out. eating habits. Carol, we went through like the bulletproof diet. We
Yep.
talked about the gut. I went through spouts of veganism, vegetarianism, and everything. And now just getting to the point where I just want to eat good food that I know is going to make me feel good and give me the nutrients and everything.
Oh, I gotta send you a book, man. Yeah. I'm gonna send you a book. I got 3 copies of it now because the first one, um, something went wrong, so they sent me another one, and then another one popped up yesterday. So I gotta send you this Eat Smarter book.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah, I'll come borrow a copy.
Like I said, I have 3, so
Yeah,
I will
I'll make
I
a
will give you
library.
one too.
No, I'll make a library so that you have one to whoever else needs it afterwards.
Right.
Hey,
But
man.
no, man, you know, don't get me wrong, man. Like I talk about building momentum, but I think there are some of us, right? Like the guys on the podcast. Like, I was thinking about it earlier, and I was like, man, to see how far we've come individually since we started the podcast, right? Like if we put a percentage to even our income as a group, that has moved tremendously. Like even during the pandemic, I moved my income significantly, right? So there's things that happen, but I think at the same time, we realized, wait a minute, so many people are going through things, and we're still thriving somehow, and still doing things, progressing when other people are, struggling.
Mhm.
I think what for me happened was I realized, okay, there's another level, right? Like if
Mhm.
if we're doing this during a pandemic, what should we be doing during regular times? How should we be living life, and going out there and building? And I think for me, that's the part that I realize now that, like, okay, yeah, I can't just be content with, oh yeah, everything's cool, we're good, progressing. um, there's another level, because if we can withstand a pandemic, what can we really do in regular time?
I agree.
Wow.
And I think the hunger, it's you mentioned the folks that go through it. It's hard because you get some of that survivors remorse or that guilt um, when we talk about these things because we know it's not the same for everybody. A
Nope.
lot of people are in like survival mode,
Mhm.
not a lot of the time, even through the pandemic. We're fortunate enough that I didn't have any type of loss of income because I could work from home. I didn't have to worry about where food and things came from. So you think about the people who got to worry about all those things that had lofty goals or had things that they set out to accomplish, but they got to make sure that their kids and things are taken care of. So they got to do whatever they got to do
Yep.
to make that happen. I think that that's one of the things that I look to from the podcast because we don't lose touch with those folks and we try to maintain that relation to the point where even though you are going through what you're going through, here are some things that we know should work for your situation if you can
Mm-hmm.
find time to
Yeah.
really implement. And you got to be hungry to move outside of your current circumstance. I can't remember the exact words that you said, Carol. You probably got the quote in your head right now, but your circumstance doesn't dictate your situation or something like that. You used to tell us all the time. And I think you really got to look at life in that light in order to rise above those situations and circumstances.
Mm-hmm. Still, and you're still going down the same road. What is our responsibility at this point
Mm-hmm.
to put things out there to push people to get to a level to where, hey, when crisis comes, you can be crisis proof? And don't get me wrong, we're not necessarily crisis proof,
Mm-hmm.
but we've done enough things, and collectively I think we put ourselves in a position to where, okay, this is happening, all right, we're going to withstand this. Hey, look, here's what I'm doing to stay healthy. Here are some things we're doing with money. And everybody, look, it's not over, so knock on the wood or whatever, but how do we start teaching people some of the ways?
I mean, I think we did a lot of teaching, telling, and showing here. um, throughout our actions. And I think going forward, we take our learnings we have so far and continue just to show and demonstrate. I mean, there's no better lesson than the example of someone setting before you. So as long as we're able to continue to do that and share our struggles, our wins, our successes, um, our teams, our circles, our listeners will grab it and gravitate toward that.
I think the challenge is, does our message reach the people that need to hear it? Or is our message reaching people that they can identify with what we're saying? And a lot of them are in the same boat, where they didn't experience significant loss. They didn't lose income, or they had enough money that, the time that they were out didn't really affect them. Some of them found new careers,
Yeah.
right, during that time. So again, it's how do we now push each to get to that next level of, okay, we're gonna make sure that this gets into the ears of the people that really need it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the creative part of it. And I think anyone that has or is trying to have any type of community or social impact, you struggle with that, getting to the ears of the people that need it the most, because there's a host of hurdles, and I don't have to list them out because I think we all we familiar with what they are. There's a host of hurdles that you have to jump to get to that. But as long as our hearts and minds are in the right place, and we stay diligent in that, it'll get there. It'll get there. Absolutely.
And it's not even, the people that are listening, I don't want them, immediately the vision that comes to people are like disadvantaged people and, maybe people in the quote unquote hood or whatever. It's not even that per se. It's people that have getting college degrees. I mean, look at our time that we spent with Bond the other day, which for those of you that are listening and don't know, that's an organization that started at University of Miami many years ago. But we were telling these brothers things that their eyes were open and like, oh wow, like you guys did that. Wow, we never thought of that. Like,
But speaking to that, and that was a great thing, and I'm glad that it's been continuing where you have that president's meeting, and you and the other founders and past presidents are able to speak to them. But as much as they were amazed by some of the things that you all had done in Bond in your time, I felt as equally amazed at some of the accomplishments and things that they were carrying forward. So I think
yeah,
that's really
absolutely.
good. That relationship, there's mutual, I guess, respect and admiration for the things that have been done. And that's important, man, especially in, younger folks. I mean, Carol, we used to speak about it all the time, how, the older generations, they just, the gap, the bridge was never really there for that gap. And
Mhm.
here you are spanning that tide. It's a beautiful thing. And hats off to those brothers for the things that they're doing down there at the University of Miami.
Yeah, man. If y'all out there listening, shout out to those brothers. Shout out to the new president.
Yeah.
And shout out to the new student body president too.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
The former Mrs. President
What'd you say, sir?
and the former Mrs. President.
And the former Mrs. President, right? You know what I mean? So, big things going on at the U and in our alma mater. So that's awesome. But to bring it back, I think at this point now, people really need to challenge themselves not to go back to same old. Right. And just think that, oh, all right, we out here, we got these vaccines, things are normalizing, people are going back to work.
Mm-hmm.
If you just go back into regular routine, you're just going to go through the same thing you've always gone through.
Yep.
And it don't even feel right, like to even go back to what was like normal. Like we talk about the new normal, but the days that I can't get up at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning to go to the gym, where I fall into, getting up at 6 or whatever, it don't even feel right. It's like I'm behind, like I'm not that, this isn't what normal is.
Right.
And so I think, once you get used to that or get a taste of it, you want to continue that going forward. And so what I want to know is, Carol, you spoke of some challenges. All right, I don't think we got anything, or any challenges out of this quarter, but what's that next level? What does that next level look like, and how are we going to get there?
I don't know. I'm trying to think. Just like it's, I don't know. I don't know. At this point, I'm just trying to think about because I know some people have gotten back to the flow and they've been so busy that they haven't had a chance to do what you've done, which was create your new normal. They were in whatever chaos that was there, and it just kept going and it kept flowing through, and never thought to take a step back. So yeah, I don't know. To answer that question because
So what about you personally? Like,
Right.
right.
me personally, I think I was stuck in that bubble of chaos and kind of running around, just getting it all done. I think I had a realization just recently to focus just on me and focus on how I can ensure that I'm not stuck in the trap um, that I've been brought back. But I don't know. It's a great question, and I gotta think about how I'm going to make sure I change. I just know that I can't go back to the normal of where I was in 2019. 2020 was what it was, but I thought about 2019 and the changes I made for myself and where I was going with it. Um, not much change for me, or not much was affected in 2020. As far as my flow, things were open. I was here in Atlanta, so things were still like normal. So I didn't have to deal with that process. But I think the work focus and the importance changed. Family became really important to me, and it became really important to everyone around me as far as work. They know that. They knew that it doesn't matter what happens at 4 o'clock with my kids. And if you have a meeting schedule, sorry, I'll get back to you later on.
But see, here's the challenge with that though. A lot of that was happening because the virus was here, and there was a little bit more sympathy
Mhm.
towards and empathy for things that people had going on, right? As things return to normal, that's going to go away. And one of the things, and it's for all of us, if Fresh was on here and then if BJ was on here, but all of us really got to see our value for the people we work for.
Yeah.
And now that things are starting to normalize, okay, do we get a return on all the time we invested during the pandemic and all the things that we went through that enabled our companies to still exist? Right. And I'm not saying this, look, we all got different people that listen from people that we work for, but this is something that people need to think about, because if you don't now show up for the people that help get you through, somebody else is going to show up. Because imagine what an interview looks like now where you can say, hey, I helped my company survive COVID, right? I was on the front line the whole time and helped execute the things that allowed us to still exist today. I was never furloughed. And they're going to look at you, and that's going to tell them immediately the caliber person that you are and what you're capable of and the things that you're willing to do for your company to succeed. So if companies aren't careful, there's going to be mass movement and people are going to be out there trying to get their value.
That is so true.
Wow.
That's so true. It's, ladies and gentlemen, if you rewind that part, listen to it, marinate on that, because like it's super real. Super real. I had that conversation and had that thoughts and everything, as far as my employment is concerned, because it matters. And I think the way that businesses have adjusted, have had to adjust, um, anything is possible. I'll say that at this point in time. And if not, you look at, where your cheese should be moved to. But it's definitely something to put some brain power towards, especially when it comes to like your quality of life and that work-life balance, man.
Yep.
Definitely put in perspective. So Coach K, before we get to you to wrap it up, and Art, we got your corner coming. I want to remind everybody where you can get this podcast on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud. We on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor, anywhere you listen to your podcast, man, you can find us. Make sure you check out the website, the 13thfloorpodcast.com. That's the 13th floorpodcast.com. Get the merch, my cool t-shirt / 13th floor. Get some t-shirts, some jackets, some hats, all that good stuff. Support, man. Leave comments. Let us know what you think. Let us know about the t-shirts and things that we have on during the show. Comments on the YouTube page. Shout out to Faison for doing his thing on the YouTube page and getting the subscribers and all those nice fancy things on there. But yeah.
Thank you for the reminder. We did have a new subscriber. We're up to 102, which seems we got a new subscriber. His subscriber name is.
Did we lose one?
No.
It's more than 102 because we were at 105.
Yeah.
Oh, so maybe okay, maybe we got more than when I pulled it. So when I pulled it was 102, so we may have a little bit more, and I'll get that taken care of. I'll put that in the notes for the new subscribers that were shout out. But ARC DC 202 was the most recent subscriber that I pulled. So I wanted to shout that.
You said ARC?
Yep, ARC DC 202.
That's Antonio.
My man. Welcome. So I wanted to shout him out for that. Thanks for subscribe. He has some comments in there. So thank you very much. For the corner, listen, I don't have much this week. I'm not going to drag it out. Kay made a big comment about the plan you have set. And
Always the best, but the views
are amazing.
Hey man, who said Fresh wasn't on the podcast this week, baby?
The quick thing that I will say is that based upon that plan that Kay said, your plan is going to change. We all had the plan to focus what we're going to do in January. February came, things happened. Now you're in March, and we're rolling right now to April. Don't be an April fool. Adjust your plan, make it happen. There's no reason why you can't do what you want to do. No matter it's fitness, monetary, or fitness, financial, or educational. Make something happen. Take time and do what you gotta do. Just adjust. If your plan was too solid, it wasn't gonna work in the first place. You have to be able to adjust and adapt to what's happening in front of you. That's the best plan, a plan that can adapt.
Excellent, man. Coach K, I don't know, man. That he sounded like he might have stole a little bit of the thunder, man. What you got to follow that up with?
Hey, listen, man.
Don't be an April Fool, buddy.
He said, "Don't be an April Fool." That's right. You can get it on T-shirt, mycooltshirts.com //13th floor. It's funny, man. We talked about some individual stuff. We talked about professional work life, but I think it's very important to highlight. Art talked about the importance of family, and I think people truly got to see what is the impact of friends and family during COVID. And all of a sudden we were doing Zoom gatherings and all types of stuff, and people were really missing that human connection. And the challenge now is, as things begin to get normal again and people start, being busy and all these distractions, are you going to keep the important thing important? And are you going to prioritize your life so that you do have that connection to friends and family? And I think at this point, we realize there are things we should have been doing all along that we were not doing to maintain those relationships. And for those of you that had people pass that you didn't get to say bye to, you didn't get to tell them how you really felt, and we were out of touch, we should never be in that situation again. We should be able to form those bonds and those relationships. And shout out to Jimmy. I'm sorry, the man's name is not Jimmy. Shout out to Jay out in California. We're looking forward to as soon as, we can fly and do whatever, we're going to make sure we connect with that man, because he's been isolated out there in California the whole time by himself. You need to start prioritizing those folks that have been isolated, because there's going to be a reintegration for them. they've been so out of touch and isolated for a year. There's going to be some PTSD. I guarantee you off of this, there will be some things that will appear in people later on, and we're not going to realize that, hey, this is due to that COVID isolation. So let's make sure that we're prioritizing those bonds and looking at what's really important and demanding that our bosses, our employers, our whatever, demanding that they adjust to that and making sure that they know, hey, this work-life balance and being able to be there for my kids and my other family members, that's important to me. And if it's not important to you, I will go find somebody who does think it's a priority.
And that's the truth, Roof. Thank you all for listening here with us on the 13th floor, where the furniture isn't always the best, but the views are
Amazing.
It's the 13th floor, y'all.